to highlight over the next couple days. The newest being after kind of looking at what sort of potential we have for tomorrow and what is already saturated grounds, we have issued a flood watch for the potential of flash flooding. That watch is in effect from 7 a.m. through 10 p.m. Sunday. This includes Allegheny County as well as our neighboring counties in Beaver, Westmoreland, Washington, and Fayette. Rain may start as early as that, say 5, 6, 7 a.m. time frame. Flash flooding is not likely then. The more likely time frame is more, say 2 p.m. through about 8 p.m. Tomorrow. The early morning rain will be generally light to maybe moderate, but helps to reprime their area where it can't hold any more water. And then as we have afternoon showers and thunderstorms, they maybe provide enough heavy rain that we could have flash flooding again with so many areas in Allegheny County and nearby that have been impacted by yesterday's rains, last night's rains. It's hard. It's going to be hard for the region to hold much more for that. Just a larger scale view. Basically, the system has a slight risk potential for flash flooding. So our flash flood watch is kind of encompassing where this yellow highlighted area of increased risk for flash flooding. Again, rain could start as early as 4 a.m., but the main window is kind of really between noon and 10 p.m. or say even narrower, about 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. Along with that, we do expect showers and thunderstorms. They're unlikely to produce any severe weather in the form of large hail, damaging wind, or tornado, but we can't rule it out, especially the far southwest or southeast portion of Allegheny County. If a thunderstorm does become strong enough, what we'd be looking at is probably strong to damaging wind. We're saying on kind of on the order of 40 to 60 mile per hour. Always be prepared for higher, but that's the more likely range if we do get something, a thunderstorm going that gets into that realm of strong to severe levels. The most likely time frame for that severe threat again tomorrow will be between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. We do expect these showers and thunderstorms and the overall rain to start to dissipate after 8 p.m. with dry conditions kind of settling in pretty much after 10 p.m. or by midnight, where any sort of severe risk and flash flood risk will be over at that point. Unfortunately, that is not the end of it. As we go into Monday, we will have another system that comes through the region, more of an afternoon, late evening type situation versus kind of the early morning to early afternoon that we have on Sunday. But again, on Monday, we have the potential for showers and thunderstorms that could have strong to damaging wind gusts. Maybe some large hail and an isolated tornado can't be ruled out, but those are lower probability threats at this time compared to the damaging wind. And that timing right now favors 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Monday. And with that, again, heavy rain can come with any sort of thunderstorm, especially if we have a lot of impacts or a lot of rain that falls tomorrow, Sunday, that may further prime the region for flash flooding with these thunderstorms on Monday. So I wouldn't be surprised if risk maybe height or increase for Allegheny County as we go to Monday if we do get a lot of rain tomorrow. So that's going to be one of those, see the results of Sunday to assess the flash flood potential for Monday. Fortunately, we do get a reprieve Tuesday into the middle of the week to have drier conditions, but later in the week we do expect shower and thunderstorm chances increase with potential flash flood or severe threats, but there's a lot of variability at that time frame. So we'll try to provide more details as we get closer to those, but it's hard to say at this point. That's what we're looking at over the next couple days. Is there any specific questions or finer details that you're hoping to receive at this point to better help with your operations, both with the flooding impacts and upcoming events here this next week?
Jason, this is Matt Brown. I'm the chief of the department. I appreciate you taking time off for us. My questions would be more, I guess, as we're already on your email tree to see all those updates.
Right.
So I don't know that you would necessarily need to reach out to us as you know the forecast becomes a little bit more clear. I guess most importantly, though, any concerns with the rivers themselves. We watched the hydrology very closely. I was watching it very closely yesterday. and with these repeated rounds and all the runoff, just driving around today, I mean, most of the area is still running off. So just looking to see if there's any concerns of the rivers, not just tomorrow, but going into Monday.
Yeah, so I'm not able to see my screen, but are you able to see kind of what would be a forecast chart for the Ohio River at the point?
Yeah, that's the same hydrologies that I check on all the time.
Okay, so I think what I want to point out with this, and I'm going to go to its full page here. When we take a look at some water model guidance and utilize, where is it here? Some of these national model blends of like, okay, here's how much rain in this image here, how much rain's forecasting for the area, and what sort of rise is it going to be. I think what this kind of shows is that these are larger tributaries, the Ohio. Could we see rises on them? Yes, but it's unlikely to. It's going to be hard to get to, say, that action level at 18 feet or a lot of the other tributaries. The impacts are going to be much greater on our smaller, more localized. So just yesterday with the rainfall, I know, let me see if I can find it here really quick. But it was Turtle Creek, I know, had a significant rise where I think it rose 5-6 feet within the span of a couple hours. Unfortunately, because of the nature of thunderstorms, it's hard to get good inputs to then say this is going to be the actual result. But if we get the right thunderstorms that sit or heavy rain in one spot, 1, 2, 3 inches, we could see similar sort of rises on these smaller creeks and streams that leads to localized flooding in that area. But unfortunately, even with those amounts, it shouldn't alter the main river stems too much over the next couple of days.
Helpful. Yeah, just through observations I saw today, Turtle Creek still right. It's much better, but even the Allegheny is running pretty high. And the majority of that's out of the county, but certainly feeding in our direction. So, yeah, I mean, the flash flooding is certainly one thing, and with the streams and creeks we'll be watching, but I just want to make sure we didn't necessarily see a secondary issue related to the rivers.
Yes, don't see, because in order to get the larger rivers going, we're going to have to get area wide, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches, and that's not going to be case. It's still going to be fairly localized the flooding. But because of what we had there in Turtle Creek and some other areas as well, and there is potential for thunderstorms that could produce those localized maximum, is why we went ahead and issued this flood watch here this evening to just help to highlight that threat. So it's something that we're going to be kind of looking out for and over through the course of the day tomorrow as rain's falling, monitoring those smaller creeks and trying to message where we're seeing those rapid rises, hopefully so you guys can more quickly act on those. So, that potential is there. I don't want to dismiss that, but it's where that thunderstorm or heavy rain maximum is going to be is still too difficult to pinpoint. It's just we got to be prepared that any one creek could have that. Hopefully it's maybe a different one just to, I don't want to say spread the wealth, but just lessen how quickly it may rise there versus if we had another creek in Allegheny County that ended up actually seeing a lot less from the rains there yesterday.
And in yesterday's event, for the most part, it was more of a training condition and a back building condition, so it's the same areas just kept getting rounded. Do you see any potential for that tomorrow or Monday, or are these going to be hopefully a little bit more widespread or quickly moving?
There will be a little more movement with these. What this scenario is versus a back building type scenario is that we'll have morning rain that will already kind of soak things that could give, quarter to a half inch over a given time. And then we'll have those thunderstorms between, again, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. They should move fairly quick enough so they won't sit like those storms sit yesterday or had back building, but they'll still have enough moisture content in them that they could, even in a hour time frame, drop an inch, inch and a half. And given the sensitivity of some of these areas, it's not going to take much more than that, and maybe even less. It may only take a thunderstorm producing 3/4 of an inch of rain in an hour that we could start to at least see the lower but still impactful stages of flash flooding.
Yeah, very helpful. I can't think of anything else. Anybody else on that has any questions for Jason?
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
No.
And, but obviously, feel free to reach out to us anytime if there are additional questions, or as we go through the day tomorrow and you're starting to see impacts. We want to definitely be there to help everybody out to respond to this stuff. And we'll definitely be hoping that this ends up being a whole lot of nothing, and then we can kind of just get through another day without too much impact.